Hello and welcome to Week in Review. I am Martia Umar. In case you missed any of our news updates during the week, this is another opportunity for you to catch up. The story from last week didn't start on a pleasant note as there was a rumble, I would say a building collapse that happened in Yaba, Lagos, where a student identified as Daramola by his family members was also found dead on the collapsed building. And the coordinator, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Ibrahim Fariloye, confirmed the update on Sunday. And Fariloye said that the rescue operation, almost completed on Sunday, discovered the body of the student. And death toll from the collapse had increased to 4, while 2 persons were found alive during the week. Many bandits have reportedly been killed during the week during a gun duel by a team of police, military and vigilantes in Magama local government area of Niger State. And Niger State Police Command's Public Relations Officer DSP Wasiu Abiodun disclosed this in a statement issued in Minna. Abiodun said large herds of cattle were also recovered and 20 abducted victims regained their freedom. Is that security operators recovered 1 AK-47 magazine with 30 rounds of live ammunition, 7 handsets and 1 Honda motorcycle. Communities in Magama local government area have been on the bandit siege for the past few days, forcing residents to flee to Kwatongwara, the headquarters of Kwatongwara local government area in the state. And during the week, there was news about the arrest of a former DCP Abik Kyari. He's a DCP who used to serve with the police, Nigerian police rather. And the suspended head of intelligence, DCP Abik Kyari, he was arrested by the police, and police arrested DCP Kyari with 4 other people. And the police arrested him hours the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, declared him wanted over alleged drug links. The suspended DCP is also on the investigation after the Federal Bureau of Investigation of the United States of America indicted him in the case of fraud involving Instagram celebrity Ramon Abbas, aka Hush Puppy. And similarly, the Police Service Commission has faulted the investigative report submitted by the Nigerian Police Force on one of its embattled officer, which is Abik Kyari, describing the report as filled with many loopholes and gaps. The Commission's spokesman, Ike Chukwani, confirmed this to newsmen, and the Commission, which earlier ordered the force to conduct a fresh probe with a different panel on Kyari, and submitted another report within 2 weeks. And that was the time frame that was given to them. And they maintained that it must submit a fresh report within the given time frame. It will be recalled that the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, had earlier set up a probe panel led by Deputy Inspector General of Police at Force Headquarters Abuja, Josephine Igbunike, to investigate Kyari over allegations by the Federal Investigation Bureau in the United States that he has a link with the billionaire fraudster Ramon Abbas, popularly known as Hush Puppy. So the Police Service Commission has suspended 2 police officers over their alleged involvement in illicit drug trafficking, and the officers Sunday Wa, an Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP, and James Power, an Assistant Superintendent of Police ASP, who were working under the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police DCP Abik Kyari, and they've been handed over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, for further investigation. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alikali Baba, has ordered the closure of all satellite units of the Intelligence Response Team and Special Tactical Squad across the country. And according to Channels Television, all 7 officers in the satellite units have been asked to report to the Force Headquarters Abuja for debriefing. A police source confirmed to Channels Television that authorities have directed that 7 officers and men in the unit will be demobilized and posted to commands across the country. Meanwhile, the force management also directed that the IRT-STS headquarters in Abuja should be fortified and organized for enhanced operational performance to combat emerging trends. According to them, the IG's decision was to ensure that IRT officers operate in various state commands under the strict supervision and control of the state commissioners. The formations of the two units of the police followed moves by the force headquarters to reposition the police and ensure accountability and due process. And in another development, trial of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, resumed on Wednesday in the past week at the Federal High Court in Abuja with his family members in the courtroom. Kanu made an appearance in court wearing his regular Fendi outfit, despite the order by the trial judge, Justice Binta Nyako, that the DSS should allow him to change his outfit before his next appearance in court. The lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, Michael Zokome, at the commencement of the hearing, lamented that since Kanu's arrest and detention, his eyeglass had been seized by the DSS and has not been returned to him, and asked that his glasses be returned to him so he doesn't go blind. Meanwhile, trial Justice Binta Nyako has fixed April 8 to rule on Kanu's application for the charge against him to be squashed.
And we also adopted our counter affidavits stating that they came on the wrong side of the law, and we take steps to bring to the attention of the court the relevant provisions of the law that suggest that this charge is well-founded and it is filed appropriately and filed at the right place and in accordance with the extant rule and the law that guides the procedure of this honorable court.
No, not the two applications, one. And that is the one that is jurisdictional, which is saying that all the 15 counts in the charge are bad, and bad. Like I described it before the court, they are as dead as dodo. All that the court requires is to give them a decent burial, because there is nothing whatsoever in the counts at all. You are accusing Nnamdi Kanu of making some broadcast. You didn't say where this broadcast was made. Was it made in the spirit world? Was it made in the air? Was it made under the ground? You didn't state. That was to run away from the first count they had fired, which we attacked when they had mentioned the United Kingdom. So they thought that by not mentioning a place, they had gotten away from it. But as a matter of fact, they have worsened their case, because the Federal High Court Act says specifically, Section 34, that you must state the very location, specific location where an offense has been committed.
This is Week in Review. We'll have more stories after the break. Thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Week in Review on Trust Television. And moving on to more reviews. Though industrial action is not alien in our tertiary institutions, again, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has declared a one-month warning strike to press home their demands from the federal government. And the National Executive Council of ASU had voted in support of the strike in a meeting that lasted till Monday morning. And President of ASU, Emmanuel Oshodeke, announced the resolution of the union while addressing journalists in Lagos, noting that the nationwide strike followed the federal government's inability to implement previous agreements. The union, which embarked on a 9-month strike that halted university education in 2020, had lamented the failure of the federal government to fulfill some of the agreements they had reached to suspend the industrial action. The union further explained that the mobilization for strike followed the federal government's attitude towards the renegotiation of their salaries and allowances, as well as the adoption of the University Transparency Accountability Solution (UTAS) payroll software.
Information system like this and non-adoption of the University Transparency Accountability Solution have continued to shortchange our members. NEC therefore resolved to embark on a 4-week rollover total and comprehensive strike beginning from Monday 14th February, which is today. That is the resolution of our NEC and the last meeting that ended yesterday.
And the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ABU Zaria chapter, during the week also joined the 4-week nationwide strike embarked upon by the national body of the union. And Daily Trust gathered that despite the national body's directive for total and comprehensive strike, lectures have continued to hold till Wednesday, when the union held a congress and issued a circular. In a circular dated February 16, 2022, and jointly signed by Chairman and Secretary Haruna M. Jibril and Hussein Abdullahi respectively, resolved to join the strike in totality. According to reports, immediately after the release of the circular, students were seen packing back home. Meanwhile, the Chief Judge of Zamfara State, Justice Kulu Aliyu, has inaugurated a 7-member investigative panel to investigate the allegations of gross misconduct, financial fraud, abuse of office against the State Deputy Governor Mahdi Kusal. Justice Kulu, after the inauguration of the 7-member panel, however, did not give time frame to the panel, which they are expected to complete the assignment and submit their report.
As part of the impeachment proceedings against the Zamfara State Deputy Governor Mahdi Kusal, the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Kulu Aliyu, has inaugurated 7-member investigative panel. 18 members of the Zamfara State House of Assembly had, during the extraordinary plenary session last Thursday, the 10th of February 2022, unanimously resolved to direct the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Kulu Aliyu, to constitute investigative panel against the Deputy Governor Mahdi Kusal. The assignment of the panel is to investigate the allegations of gross misconduct, financial fraud, abuse of office and breach of the Constitution against the state's deputy governor. The Chief Judge, Justice Kulu Aliyu, said she received a letter of request from the Speaker of the State Assembly dated 10 February 2022 to constitute a panel to investigate the allegation against the deputy governor. According to her, the use of word shall in Section 188 imposes a duty on me as the Honorable Chief Judge of Zamfara State to appoint a panel of 7 persons who are of unquestionable character, integrity, and honesty to investigate the allegation of the Deputy Governor.
Within 7 days of the passing of a motion under the foregoing provisions of this section, the Chief Judge of the State shall, at the request of the Speaker of the House of Assembly, appoint a panel of 7 persons who, in his opinion, are of unquestionable integrity, not being members of any public service, legislative houses, or political party, to investigate the allegation as provided in this section. Based on the above constitutional provisions, I received a letter of request from Right Honorable Speaker Zamfara State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Nasir Ma'azu Magaria, with reference number ZAMH/SPK/G/2022/002, dated 10th February 2022, to constitute a panel to investigate the allegations against the Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, His Excellency Barrister Mahdi Ali Muhammad Gusau, pursuant to the resolution passed by the Zamfara State House of Assembly in its sitting.
Chairman of the 7-member investigative panel, retired Justice Tanko Soba, promised to carry out the assignment in accordance with the Constitution and will give the embattled Deputy Governor of Zamfara State fair hearing.
In law, there must be fair hearing, that is, both parties must be heard. In this light, the law and procedure of Zamfara State High Court are to guide both the court and the learned counsel for both parties.
Justice Kulu Aliyu charged the panel to work as a team and concentrate on the issues contained in the notice of allegation against the Deputy Governor. There is no terms of reference and time frame given to the 7-member panel. The Zamfara state lawmakers are bent on impeaching the state Deputy Governor, Mahdi Kusal, despite the court order restraining them from taking any action against the embattled number 2 citizens.
And now to political matters, but still in Zamfara State. The All Progressives Congress APC crisis in the state deepens as state government threatened to demolish office of the former governor of the state, Abdulaziz Iyari-led faction of the APC in the state. The special advisor to the Zamfara state governor on urban regional planning, Anas Abdullahi, said he had served the Abdulaziz Iyari's faction of the party with a eviction notice to remove billboards or get it demolished. The report.
The commissioner claimed that there is no any faction in Zamfara state except that of the governor Bello Matawalais, and therefore all billboards of any APC in the state must be removed as they contravene the law establishing the Zamfara State Urban and Regional Planning Board, ZUREP.
That APC office, they have not followed the rules for the ZUREP. Number one, no any paper and no any document, no any file that they come here and register before they flex the billboard. We cross-check and we find out before we go around. And we give them the quick notice, 58 hours to remove it. If they didn't remove it, so we know the action that we are going to take. I cannot tell anybody the action that we are going to take, but we are going to take what the law of ZUREP said. So as they come and flex the billboard and paint the logo of APC for their house, is wrong.
The special advisor denies that the move is politically motivated, warning any development without approval for building or installation of billboard in the state from the board will not be spared.
The only APC that we have is the one that Dr. Bello Maradon is leading. As let me tell you one thing, the national APC chairman, acting national APC chairman, Memalabuni, he come to Zamfara and he announced saying that they dissolve all the caretakers. And the leader of that APC is the governor, that serving governor. So anybody who wants to join APC have to follow Dr. Bello Maradon, not Abdulaziz Iyari. And he said even the membership card, he deserves it. No anyone, no any member out of Abdulaziz Iyari that come and register for this new register. How am I going to call them as an APC member? They are not an APC member. Don't ever try to call them as an APC member.
The special advisor, Anas Abdullahi, while on inspection around the state capital, Kusal, on a routine operation, appealed to political parties and their supporters to desist from placing illegal billboards and posters at the roundabout and other landmark infrastructures. He says the Zamfara State Urban and Regional Planning Board is poised to ensure residents of the state, especially developers and politicians, comply with the law for the overall progress and development of the state.
During the week, lingering fuel scarcity in Abuja took a different toll as motorists expressed frustration over long queue, translating into transport fare hike for commuters. And the situation is dire as a lot of people complain about the situation and the queues that obstruct a free flow of traffic, causing unnecessary congestion. Trust TV's Nafisa Abdul Al was on the street of Abuja and some of these filling stations, and she reports.
Long queues persist across fueling stations in the FCT, days after it was discovered that petrol being supplied into the country is adulterated. Although the NNPC and other stakeholders are trying to curb the problem, the situation still persists and has left Nigerians filled with frustration and anger over not just the situation but the overall economic situation of the country. The fuel scarcity issue has left motorists on long queues at filling stations as some abandon their vehicles, waiting their turn to purchase petrol.
The situation is so sad, you know. For one to abandon his office to come and seek for fuel is a very appalling situation. I've been here over 5 hours. I said I came in here around 6:30. They say they will start by 10. By 10:30 they kick off. So up till now, we are still hoping that before the end of today we'll get fuel. Well, black market, they are not helping matter. Just that if you are in a desperate situation, you patronize them. But what type of fuel are you buying? That is the thing.
The situation now, you can actually use money a day here. Since 7 o'clock a day, I never get the fuel. I feel so uncomfortable for the fuel. If I get the fuel now, it's so far. So before I go to work now, time don't go. Black market, because they sell 5,000 for 10 liter, 5,000. Because they buy that 10 liter now for black market, I can't do work. They buy it now, how much I will eat, how much I carry go house. They run the Zuba. So from here to Zuba now is 600, 500, 600. Because the way we take buy the fuel, that's why we will take do the work.
So bad, so painful. In fact, we left all. Can see people are standing by. We left all to stand. We are in the sun. When you met me, we were in the sun, waiting for the queue to move. You see, all you can see is this black market all over, and the price they are selling as at on Friday, I passed here. They told me 3,000. Today now they are calling 7,000. 7, for at least they say today is 6,000. So it's unbearable.
New or not, we live on trust. We have trust that if we buy black market, we can be able to move around. If at the end of buying the black market, your motor refuses to move, it is part of the trust. So it is terrible.
Other passers-by and commuters are equally affected by the situation as heavy traffic congestion obstructs the free flow of vehicles. The fuel scarcity problem has forced many Nigerians into dire situations in the sense that they are purchasing petrol from black market sellers at exorbitant prices even without being sure of the content of the product. Nafisa Abdul-Al, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The scarcity of petroleum products being witnessed in the country, in Abuja precisely, did not just affect Abuja alone following the importation of adulterated petrol. It also hit Port Harcourt, the River State capital, where many petrol stations are without the product, while the few dispensing have long queues. The report.
Many petrol stations are without the product, while few dispensing have long queues. Some motorists in Port Harcourt called for the repairs of the nation's refineries to avoid a repeat of the present situation. They also advised federal government to ensure those responsible for the importation of adulterated petrol are made to face the law.
I'm a victim of the adulterated petrol. I purchased a petroleum product from a filling station beside the filling station Propel along the East-West Road after Romodara. And the thing messed up my engine, messed up my generator.
Government should work our refineries. Let our refineries work so that they will stop this importation of fuel and adulterated fuel. We are suffering. Cost of maintenance is very, very high. Please tell the federal government, let the president hear it. Let the minister for petroleum hear it also. We are suffering. Let them repair our refineries that are moribund. For many years, they come and give us fake promises. They will not do any work. Look at the queue now. It's uncalled for.
They're supposed to repair a refinery because we are suffering for this fuel matters.
Actually, we want the government to do something possible for we to have a sound refinery so that we will not be able to face all these things that is happening in the country.
As at the time of filing the report, 10 liters of petrol is sold for 2,500 from the roadside sellers.
Investigation into the adulterated petrol in circulation is ongoing, And more petrol, according to the government, it's been supplied into the market. Hopefully, this week we would see a reduction in queues in filling stations around Abuja and other states in the country. And that wraps up a week in review on Trust Television. Don't forget, for more updates, you can follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. See you next week.